The Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
Speaker. Ti hei Māori ora. Te whare e tu nei, te papa e tā koutou nei, tātou katoa te hunga ora, tēnā koutou katoa. Mr Speaker, normally when I rise in this House to speak on a bill, I say it's a great privilege to speak on the bill. That is not the case today. This is a grubby little bill, born of a grubby little deal. It has had a colossal...
Excuse me, I'll make it clear just once. The gallery do not interfere in the activities of Parliament. Another outburst like that will clear the galleries. Everyone will be going. The Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
It has had a colossal impact on the fabric of our nation, and this bill will forever be a stain on our country. But, Mr Speaker, what I do take pride in is the way New Zealanders have come together over the last 6 months to say loud and clear, this is not us. This is not Aotearoa New Zealand. For 185 years, Māori and non-Māori have worked together to make progress. We honour those who have come before. We stand on their shoulders today. And when I say we, Mr Speaker, I mean those on this side of the House. Labour, Te Pāti Māori, the Green Party, united in our determination throughout this debate to defeat this bill, to end the division that it has created and to bring this country together. Today, National and New Zealand First join the opposition to this bill. But, Mr Speaker, they can claim no victory, no virtue and no principle. They get no credit for finally starting to fight the fire they helped to ignite. Today, Mr Speaker, their votes will fall on the right side of the ledger, but they will forever be on the wrong side of history when it comes to this bill. Not one National MP should walk out of this debating chamber today with their heads held high, because when it comes to this debate, they led nothing, they stopped nothing, and they stood for nothing. Unlike the 300,000 New Zealanders who stood up to be counted when it comes to this bill. All those who marched in the streets together, Māori, non-Māori, ethnic communities, young and old, saying this is not New Zealand and this will not define who we are as a country. Because this is a bill based on a mythology that is far too easily turned into outright lies. The myth of Māori special privilege. Life expectancy 7 years lower than other New Zealanders is not special privilege. Being twice as likely to die from cancer as others is not special privilege. A higher rate of childhood hospitalisation, 40% of Māori living in the highest areas of deprivation compared to just 10% of Europeans. These are not signs of privilege, Mr Speaker. But too often these statistics are twisted to suggest that Māori are wanting the Crown to save them. I've been up and down the country in recent years speaking to Māori all over New Zealand, and that could not be further from the truth. How ignorant, how blind and how wrong those statements are. Māori have been very clear. What they're asking for is partnership, for the Crown to walk alongside them and to embrace by Māori for Māori solutions. Māori want to do the mahi themselves, and they want the Crown to stop acting as an impediment to that. I say it's time we listened and it's time we acted on that. When it comes to Māori politics and politicians, I've found that there are two approaches in common, and I spoke about these before the last election. Playing the race card, spreading the myth of Māori special privilege, talking about one law for all and playing on people's fears. But on the other side is the middle ground, keeping quiet and too often watering down policy so as not to be seen as too pro-Māori. I said before the election, and I'll say it again today, I reject both of those approaches. Because when Māori thrive in New Zealand, all of us benefit, all of us will thrive, and non-Māori have nothing to fear from Māori getting ahead here in New Zealand. And once again I say to the members opposite in the National Party, where are the voices like Christopher Finlayson, Doug Graham, Jim Bolger, Jenny Shipley, John Key, Bill English, who were proud of the treaty partnership, who embraced concepts like co-governance, and they didn't call it divisive. Mr Speaker, our work in government, which has been the subject of much debate on that side of the House, actually built on the foundations that were set by successive governments, both Labour and National. It is that history of progress that today's National Party have turned their backs against. Mr Speaker, in my lifetime, we have changed as a nation for the better. From one that punished kids for speaking Te Reo Māori to one that embraces Te Reo Māori in all of our classrooms. From one that ignored our history to one that teaches all of our kids in all of our schools Aotearoa New Zealand's history. From one that turned a blind eye to the wrongs of the past to one that makes amends and commits not to repeating the same mistakes again. Until today, that is, Mr Speaker. Christopher Luxon called the Treaty of Waitangi a little experiment. Winston Peters claims that Māori are not indigenous to Aotearoa. In fact, as I was rereading my notes from before the election, I was reminded of a quote by a New Zealand First candidate in this most recent election campaign that I'm going to quote directly from. Quote, "Cry if you want to, we don't care. You pushed it too far. We are the party with the cultural mandate and the courage to cut out your disease and bury you permanently." That was a New Zealand First candidate speaking about Māori in New Zealand. It made me sick to my stomach then, and it still does now. Because, Mr Speaker, the treaty is not a little experiment. It is a bold promise and a bold vision. It is not a source of division. It is what binds us together. And yes, it is a partnership, a structure, something to work towards, a promise to uphold. Because as I've said, when Māori thrive, all of Aotearoa New Zealand thrives. Over 185 years, we've worked together to fulfil the promise of the treaty, the good and the bad, and there has been far too much bad in that work. We have discussed, debated and argued about the meaning of the treaty. We've argued about what the visionary rangatira who signed it had intended. That 185 years of history, of debate, of discussion, of argument, of progress informs how we interpret the treaty today. And no member of this House simply gets to wipe all of that 185 years of history away to suit their own purposes. Because the Treaty of Waitangi is not just history. It's not just ink on paper. It's a living promise. Today, on this side of the House, we honour that promise. We commit to continuing to strive to do better, to bring people together, to move our nation forward. Me mahi tahi tātou, mo te oranga o te katoa. We must work together for the well-being of all. Work together in partnership. Coming together does not mean being the same. It does not mean thinking the same. It does not mean acting the same. It means embracing our differences, but working together to find common ground so that we can all move forward together. So let's finally consign this grubby little bill to the scrap heap of history, where it can take its place alongside the other darker acts of this House that have also been consigned to our history. And let's instead move forward together. Let's find a positive, lighter path where we can bring the country together, where we can not play on prejudice, but seek to reconcile our differences, where we can celebrate our history, the positives of it, and recognise the ugly parts for what they were and commit to doing better. This debate has not been helpful for the fabric of Aotearoa New Zealand. It is well and truly time for it to be over.
Okay, sorry for a bit of choppiness that went through the stream there. Too many windows open because I've got Franceska's live streaming going, and that I believe overloaded with the number of in and out data going effectively on the same device.
Oh, sorry, Sam. You can turn off the live if you want.
No. I've worked out a way to make it work. It's just not been as easy as it's not been as seamless as I thought it could have been. But it's just what it is.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I mean, Chubby's done well in that speech, but again, Labour did not front up to Māori when they were last in power either. And time again, every New Zealand government never fronts up to Māori. And look, Māori are going to be a little bit upset. There's going to be a few whittles and challenges of doing that. But Māori are reasonable people, and they like to work with people. And that was the whole point with the treaty, was to work together collaboratively as a collective. So I really like what he's saying, but is this going to be the case if they get in? This is my thoughts on this, because time and time again, they've said this before, that they are with Māori in the Māori way and getting in that waka together, but I've never actually seen that before. I've never seen the proof in the pudding from them before.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Labour to get the stink of Helen Clark off them, especially in regards to Māori issues, because that what she did really did seal the deal for a lot of Māori.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hard to win back Māori's trust after, the way how that was all handled. And also, thanks to Helen Clark, we got Shane Jones, which has not been helpful. And thanks to the Labour Party, we also got the ACT Party. So, yeah, there's a reason why Māori are feeling quite sceptical about the Labour Party.
Yeah.
The other one is the fact that Shane Jones might not be the only former Labour minister, but it's been speculated Stuart Nash might shift to ACT. Not ACT, New Zealand First.
Yeah.
Say that again, Sam?
Stuart Nash might be getting headhunted to stand for New Zealand First.
Well, Winston's been around for a long time now. He's been an OG politician for a long time, and he's been an ultimate decider many more times than I would have liked to. But I guess that's what happens when you're running elections, when people are talking about sausage rolls and pies. I mean, to me, that was a whole debacle, and I think really embarrassing for me to watch it in the rest of the world. We have these politician campaigns about sausage rolls and pies. Yeah,
the thing I'm a little bit worried about with Winston is he could be the next Dianne Feinstein in the world political system. Dianne Feinstein was a US senator who died, I think it's either 90 or 92, in the Senate while still in office. My grandma is about 5 years older than Dianne Feinstein, and my grandma sat and said, she's got to retire. She should be spending time with her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. She shouldn't be in the
Yeah,
Senate.
but if Winston retires, we're stuck with Shane Jones, and I don't want to be stuck with a guy
Well-
like Shane Jones who basically is running around saying, "Well, Maori ceded sovereignty." And it's like, no, I don't want to hear that for the next 40 years. Thank you.
No.
Oh, I don't think Shane Jones, and the thing is, I don't think Shane Jones could pull off the party as being the successor now.
I mean, Winston's got to, he's got to live the rest of his life or retire at some point. But I will give it to Winston. He has pulled out a few things, and he has changed and done some good things for community too, guys. Like, with the Super Gold bus card, and he has been working well with the elderly. Like, he has actually given substance. He has actually done some things in Parliament, and I have to give him that.
Yeah, we shouldn't knock him down for the good things he's done.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I also don't want to see Shane Jones up there either. I love you, Laura.
Winston is better than Shane. I mean, Shane not only runs around saying that Māori cede sovereignty, but he also runs around eating all the pies, and I can't live with that.
No, it's the ego for me. I don't think that he is well established, educated, or has a real feel for this nation, whenua, and statistics, and a lot of things. I think he's just got a big, loud trumpet that he likes to blow off all the time. He's not refined in any way, nor do I see him changing the world or our land or people or doing anything good for anybody except himself. That's how I personally feel.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Scout, the Order Paper Pie.